Awesome view. I'm going to be running down. There's a trail right along the hillside there. It's going to drop down through this little canyon and then back to the parking lot. Really loving it out here today. Of course, I am talking about in this video in the Speedland GL SVT, a pretty awesome and premium shoe for a premium price, but it is pretty good too, although maybe not perfect. I'll talk about that a little bit more in this video. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, give the video a like, drop a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are in the Speedland GL SVT shoe. Do you have this shoe? What has been your experience? And have you bought any other Speedland shoes? And what have been your experiences in those shoes as well? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about three things really: the overall build quality and the comfort, the performance and the value of the shoe. But let's move on with the trail run. I'm gonna hand it over to VoiceOver Chad to cover some of those specs and features first. VoiceOver Chad, over to you.
Speedland states, the GL SVT is the ultimate trail equipment for technical mountain trails. Precision fit is paired with maximum comfort and responsiveness to propel you through the mountains faster. As for some of those specs and features, you get a tight, high tenacity knit mesh upper with built-in gaiter, beaded HTPU external midsole and proprietary drop-in midsole, Perform Fit wrap with BOA Fit system, Carbitex Gear Flex plate, Michelin fiber light outsole with cuttable 6.5mm lugs, a 33mm heel stack and 28mm toe stack, 5mm drop, weighs in at 303 grams or 10.7 ounces in a men's size 9, and has a US MSRP of $299. I should also state that Speedland did send me this shoe for the purpose of review, but know that all thoughts and opinions are strictly my own, and all the B-roll footage you're about to see was recorded after this run, so you're seeing the shoe in its true and current state. Chad, over to you.
All right, while I make my way over to the parking lot, it's still a couple miles away. Let's talk a little bit about the overall build quality and the comfort of the GL SVT. And then I'll pull out that carbon plate and do a little comparison of how the shoe feels with that carbon plate in it, which is what I have right now, versus without the carbon plate. Man, it is simply beautiful out here today. I'm really loving these trails. As for the overall build and build quality, it's what I would expect. This is a premium shoe for a premium price, $300. We'll talk about that more in a little bit here, but I would expect the best of the best and spared no expense, which is what Speedland gives you in this shoe. One of the things I really like about the shoe is that BOA Fit system with straps that go across the top of your foot are very comfortable, really give you a good lockdown fit. And I really like that the BOA system allows you to really just fine tune and dial in that fit. You can adjust it very easily on the fly, which I have done, you know, tightening up a little bit, maybe loosening it. And this dial system, unlike some of the cheaper BOA systems, allow you to turn the knob both in a tightening direction, and you can click it back to loosen it, or pull it out to loosen the whole system altogether for when you're getting your foot in and out of the shoe. I'll show you that here in a moment. The upper material is kind of a ripstop like material, very durable, abrasion resistant. You get some really nice PPU overlays that wrap around the toe box to offer some protection and durability. And then another thing that you'll notice is that gaiter system which wraps around your ankle a little bit more, really just helping to keep the rocks and other debris otherwise out of the shoe. And it does a phenomenal job at that. Additionally, in the upper, I don't know if you can see in the tongue here, or the tongue area, it is more breathable, but of course it's covered up with the straps. So I appreciate that they made it more breathable, but kind of makes it a little bit ineffective when the straps pretty much cover up that breathability. This shoe is not the most breathable, which is a little unfortunate. My feet do get just a little bit warm, a little bit sweaty in this shoe compared to other shoes with like a Matrix upper, for example. Although I haven't done an official water test in this shoe, I do think it'll shed water quite well. There's just, the material isn't really one to absorb and hold on to water. There's also a couple water drainage ports that you can create in that midsole and outsole. There's a spot on the outsole that you can cut the rubber out, and that exposes a couple holes for water drainage. Moving to the bottom of the shoe with that midsole, which also includes the insole. It is a HTPU midsole and separate insole. So the insole slides into the shoe, allowing you to add or remove the carbon plate. You get 33 millimeters of heel stack. From a comfort perspective, it offers good cushioning and support on the trail. Not too much, not too little, just right for that more mountainous, technical type of running. And there's some people. Hey guys, how are you? I'm just talking to the YouTube. But that midsole and insole are very durable. They're gonna last an extremely long time. I don't think you're ever gonna wear out that midsole. You'll wear out other parts of the shoe first. This shoe will last a very long time. I would not be surprised if you can get 800 plus miles out of it. Moving down to that outsole, it's that Michelin rubber. Very durable, very, very grippy. But seriously, that Michelin outsole grip is outstanding, better than Vibram. So when it comes to build quality, Speedland really did a great job. Premium materials, premium build, everything really thought out. I think build quality deserves a 10 out of 10. There's really no reason to dock it a point at all. When it comes to comfort, I think this shoe is gonna fit a whole range of feet sizes, with the exception of maybe the most narrow of feet. It is a little bit more of a wide fitting shoe, although not quite as wide as their GS platform, but there's otherwise plenty of room for your toes and your midfoot in this shoe. I do wish that things were locked down just a little bit more for my foot, but I think for most people, for you, it's going to be totally just fine. There's some really nice padding in the ankle and the heel area. It is worth noting that if you need a lot of arch support, you're not going to get that in this shoe. So overall, before I start rambling, comfort is very good in this shoe. However, because of that gator system, when I wore on my first run with these shoes, I wore more of a low cut sock, and I did get some blisters on my Achilles. There was some Achilles rub, and it did not feel good. It took a few weeks to heal from that, unfortunately. However, once I wore this shoe with a higher cut sock, kind of like today, then I did not have any of those rubbing or blister issues on my Achilles. So I do recommend that you wear a slightly higher or taller sock. So considering that there's a pretty easy fix to avoid those blisters, that rubbing on your Achilles, then I would give comfort probably, I would say an 8, maybe an 8.5 out of 10. Only reason for a couple docks of points is because the shoe does run a little bit warm. I feel like it could be a little bit more breathable. That gator system does help hold in a little bit of heat. Keeps the debris out, but holds in heat. And then I do wish that, at least for my foot, that I felt just a little bit more locked in around the heel and the midfoot. But I think for most people, I would say I have an average to narrow foot, but I think for most people, for you, it's going to be just fine as far as that overall fitment and lockdown feel. Okay, we're getting close to the parking lot. Let's pull out that carbon plate. I also went true to size, my typical 9.5, and feel like the length of the shoe was spot on, so no need to size up or down. All right, so here's the BOA system. You can tighten it like that, loosen it just a little bit if you need, or pop it out entirely, and that just loosens up those straps, allowing you to get your foot in and out very, very easily. As far as that insole goes, it just slides right out like that. There is your carbon plate. Just twist it, pop it off, same thing to get it back on. You can see the cutouts where the carbon plate is. And the cool thing about this carbon plate is it's a little more resistant this direction, but very flexible going the other direction. So let's put that insole back in the shoe, pull out the other side. Bam, easy. Pull off that. And this insole is very, very soft as well, just like the midsole. There we go, super easy. Okay, immediate impressions with the carbon plate removed. The shoe is definitely more flexible. I feel like I can feel the ground just a little bit more, and it's arguably more comfortable. Let's get back on the trails and see how it does there. Morning, folks. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you so much. How far are you hiking today?
Well, we'll see.
Enjoy. All right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the performance. There is a noticeable difference without the carbon plate in there, more than I really expected. The shoe feels more agile, a little more nimble, more connected to the trail. I get a little bit better feedback with what's underfoot, and the feedback from the trail and the rocks and such underfoot. And it also feels just a little bit more cushioned underfoot, which makes it actually a little bit more comfortable, which begs the question, when do you need the carbon plate? I would say most of the time, in this shoe at least, you probably don't need the carbon plate. Unless you're running on more groomed, faster trails, maybe the carbon plate would have a benefit. I did feel its proportional properties a little bit, but when the trail gets even just a little bit more technical, I prefer the shoe without that carbon plate. I just feel like I get better feedback, and again, it's overall more comfortable underfoot. This shoe is made for mountain running, and it definitely begins to feel at home on those more technical trails. This is a shoe that I feel like I could do a lot of training in, those mountainous run ventures, maybe even the occasional ultra race, with the caveat that I don't feel particularly fast in this shoe.
And come to find out, I actually claimed a few Strava segments from this run and a previous run while running in this shoe. Go figure.
I feel confident in the shoe, and it feels like one that I could run hours and hours on end in, but it doesn't really encourage me to run particularly super fast. Hey there, how's it going? No worries, enjoy your run. Yeah, thank you. That's not to say that the midsole isn't poppy or responsive. It definitely is, has a good kind of soft and springy feel to it. That Michelin rubber is fantastic. I mean, excellent grip. I have never felt like I was lacking in grip in any situation or scenario. I also feel like there's some pretty good protection from the sharpest of rocks underfoot, even without the plate. That outsole rubber and the resiliency of the midsole just offers really good protection from the trails, really good ground feedback, but not in a fatiguing way. Hey bud, how's it going? Enjoy. I wanted to compare this shoe with the almost comparably priced Hoka Tecton X3. That shoe comes in at $275. This one coming in at $300. We'll talk about value a little bit more here in a minute, but they both have a gaiter that wraps around your ankle, both high performing, top build quality and materials. I feel like you're getting maybe slightly more premium materials in the Speedland, but in the Hoka, the Tecton X3, I feel like that shoe is just a little bit faster, a little bit more of a race day oriented shoe. However, if you're looking for more of a run venture mountainous technical shoe, I would not recommend the Tecton X3. The Speedland GL SVT is definitely going to be the better shoe for those mountain technical runs. It's also a little bit more stable underfoot, not quite as much mid-stack height, but I definitely feel more stable underfoot as well. So performance, if you're using it for those mountain runs, those technical runs, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Hey folks, how's it going? Good, enjoy your hike. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, let's do this.
Oh, they are coming, which means I can't stop. All right, let's get to the top of this hill. I'll talk about value. How's it going? Thank you. As for value, $300 US MSRP, plus another $35 if you opt to get the carbon plate. That is, of course, a lot of money to spend. The most premium of shoes are going for that upper $200 to $300 range. So this price isn't unreasonable compared to the market. Still a lot of money to spend. Is it worth it? If you're looking for, hey folks, how's it going? I was talking to the YouTube. If you're looking for a super premium shoe, mountain running shoe that is gonna last a very long time, well-made components, well thought out and well designed, and arguably looks pretty cool too, yeah, this is probably the shoe to consider. I would choose this shoe over the Hoka Tecton X3, which comes in at $275 for those mountain technical runs. Considering that a lot of my running is not in that more extreme technical running conditions, I personally would have a hard time justifying $300 for this shoe, but I think it definitely has a place for some runners. So I'm gonna have to give value probably 7 out of 10, but then that begs the question, would something for half the price suffice? Okay, so I guess I gotta wrap this video up now because I've pretty much said everything that I think needs to be said. If I've forgotten something or you've got a question, drop a comment down below. I'll definitely be sure to see that and answer you. And consider joining the channel membership. It's only $1 a month and just goes to support the channel. So the Speedland GL SVT shoe is definitely one that I've enjoyed. I love its build and the premium materials. I love the feeling underfoot. It is an enjoyable shoe to run in. So you're definitely getting a good shoe if you purchase this, but is it worth that $300 price tag? I'll leave that up to you. And with that, appreciate you being here. Remember to be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile, as I am today in the Speedland GL SVT. I'll see you on the next video. Bye now. Some wildlife there. Some more wildlife up here. Oh, and some more wildlife.